Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the West Ham Network for today's rendition of Hammer's headlines. It's the 21st of April, and I'm Anton. If you're new around here, please make sure you go and click that subscribe button. There's a button somewhere kicking around the screen, depending on what device you're watching on. And of course, hit that thumbs up if you're interested in becoming a channel member. You can look at all that and look at all the perks we've got coming up. But today, as we always do, we bring you lots of the stories coming out of West Ham, and there's plenty of stories coming out of West Ham. Before we get started on it, if you were one of the lucky ones that managed to get a ticket for the home leg, West Ham set records. I think that I went on, I was lucky enough, I got my season ticket, so I've picked up my ticket. I was looking to get a family member ticket. I went on and there was 10,500 people ahead of me in the queue. 56 minutes later, I managed to get onto the system and get additional 2 tickets for family members as well. So if you are very fortunate enough to get it, good on you. But I don't know what you feel about the process and how it works. It's not the most ideal situation because I do know that there was like the Clark members had an option to do it, but I don't really know what's right and I don't really know what's wrong. So get your comments in and let me know your thoughts on the big game and if you did get a ticket, etc. And if you didn't get a ticket, where are you going to be watching it? Where in the world do you watch from? Let us know that as well. But what we do know is it's a semi-final, first leg at home, and it is going to be unreal. No matter where you watch it, if you're in the stadium and you're not, you're just a West Ham fan. It's exciting times as a West Ham fan. But let me get started on today's first bit of story, and that is the fact that we have, and we know this, we've discussed Ivan Toney before, but apparently the race is back on. You know, Newcastle are chasing him again. And West Ham are back in there, but other clubs are back in there, all for Brentford striker Ivan Toney. He's been linked with a return back to Newcastle, and I don't know if people ever really knew this, but after stepping back up to the Premier League level with Brentford this season, he was previously on the books with Newcastle between 2015 and 18, but spent much of that time out on loan. He left then permanently for Peterborough United, who sold him to Brentford in 2020. Subsequently, his 31-goal haul in his debut championship season fired the Bees to promotion. That was, of course, after Brentford had sold Ollie Watkins to Aston Villa. They had money and they didn't know what they were going to do for goals. Ben Rama left them, came to West Ham, and they brought in Ivan Toney, of course, as well. This term, though, Toney has added significantly to the 2 Premier League appearances he had to his name during his Newcastle spell, and he's fired 12 top-flight goals in 28 games so far this season. And, of course, Brentford look to be safe in the Premier League, and he's been attracting interest from elsewhere. And it looks like he's on the radar of many clubs. But they're, Newcastle, West Ham aren't the only suitors. There's talks of Arsenal, Everton, and Wolves all kind of sniffing around Ivan Toney. Moving to Arsenal or West Ham would allow Toney to remain in London, where he is settled. But the same would go if Toney can extend his contract with Brentford. And the reports are claiming that that's something he would be interested in. His current deal is due to expire in 2025, but he could earn a pay rise and probably would earn a pay rise thanks to proving himself in the Premier League. Under no pressure to sell him yet, Brentford have even set a £50 million price tag on the 26-year-old. And they feel that, a £30 million sale of Ollie Watkins when they were still in the Championship justifies such a sum. If Toney ever receives an England call-up too, it would give further weight to his high valuation. For now, his mind is probably focused on Brentford, who could yet have him throughout his prime years if they are willing to meet his demands. 50 million quid. What do you think? Young English centre forward that's scoring goals in the Premier League, that has got an eye for goal, who does really look like he's got the attributes that we could be looking for. Get your comments in and let me know your thoughts on Ivan Toney. Next up, though, is another player we have discussed as well, and we do know that David Moyes was over watching a Hull game recently. He wasn't just watching this player that we're looking at here, Lewis Porter. He was looking at other players in the fixture, but he was being the main scout for the day. David Moyes was there, and we apparently have an eye on the Hull City attacker, Keen Lewis Porter. And after the successful signing of Bowen, West Ham could go back in and get another Hull City signature in this lad. He's 21-year-old, under 21 for England. has played all 37 games for Hull in all competitions this season, and all of them he has started. He's contributed 9 goals, he's got 5 assists, and many other clubs are going to be keeping an eye on him. And at such a young age, Hull's brilliant winger has emerged as one of the most important players in the league, racking up most goals, assists, like I said, combined in the Championship out of anyone in their squad. He's had more attempts on goal on average than any other Hull player this season, which is 2.2 attempts at goal. Another winger, another prospect for the future, another young lad. I just wonder, is this going to be another Jared Bowen? Is this someone that falls within the remit of what David Moyes is looking for? He's young, he's enthusiastic, he can get forward, he can track back. And I wouldn't be surprised if we dipped our toe into the Championship and looked for another couple of quality players. What's his valuation? I don't know. Would they move for 20 million quid? I think they probably would. Would they move for a bit less? I think they probably would. But I don't know where that radar and that barrier stops. I don't think you would pay any more than... You wouldn't pay any more than 20, definitely. But they probably wouldn't accept anything less than 12 or 13 million. So it's definitely worthwhile having a look at these players. Let me know your thoughts, though, on the Championship players. And do you think Lewis Porter is a player that you would like to see West Ham bring in, of course? And last but not least, West Ham suffered another blow, and it's already a blow we knew about, but we thought that Ogbonna would be coming back maybe for the last couple of games of the season. And if we had got through to the Europa League final, maybe have been fit for that. But we are hearing that the fact that he might not be able to come back, and he is looking like he won't even make any games for the rest of this season. He's been out since the Liverpool game back in November when he broke down with the injury. We have been getting kind of regular updates. He was back in training, and we understand the medical department, though, has ruled out hopes that he'll be back for the last couple of games. Hopefully it's smoke and mirrors, and hopefully he can make it back, but I doubt it. And that's going to be a massive blow to David Moyes, who obviously had his fingers crossed given the injuries of Kurt Zouma and Diop. Instead, for the games coming up, he'll have to consider looking at players like Ben Johnson, who will move into centre-half alongside Craig Dawson, or drafting in Alessi for the game at Chelsea and beyond. Neither Alessi or Jamal Baptiste were on the bench against Burnley, so it may well be that the manager will go for the Johnson and Dawson combination, but things will yet to be seen. What do you think, though, on the news that we don't think we'll see Ogbonna coming back for the rest of this season? Keep your comments coming in. Disappointing, but I have faith in what Moyes is doing at the club. I think we're going to be all right, touch wood. I personally am calling for Alessi. I think it'd be nice to see the young player step up. I think he is ready, but leave your comments in the comment section below. And that brings an end to today's Hammers Headlines in association with the KUMB.com. Go and check them out as well. And like I said, if you're new around here, hit the subscribe button and check out all of our content. I've done a show earlier today, the West Ham Daily, where we talk about players we should keep and sell. We've not done a full squad. We've taken a selection of the players and why we would look at keeping them and why we would look at selling them. So leave your comments in that as well. Stay safe and come on, you Irons.